All right, welcome back to Woodshop Wednesdays. So I've got the Jeep outside, pulled the seats and all the hardware and stuff out of there except for that one safety belt. That thing is so tight in there, I'm afraid I'd break the bolt trying to get it out. But anyway, I've washed it out, soap and water, and getting ready to spray. Once it's dried, I'll seam seal everything, get that all nice and shored up, and then be ready to spray paint chassis black. I got this thing cleaned out, and so what I'm gonna do now is shore up a little area here where the bed of the Jeep, which I never had to replace this, but I did replace the wheel houses. There's a seam right down here that is not welded that I seam sealed last time, but there's a little separation here. So what I'm gonna do is, before I put seam sealer down, I'm actually gonna fiberglass that in with the resin and cloth to shore that up. Didn't really have that problem over here, but no worries. Here we go. Okay, I got everything seam sealed with this 3M urethane seam sealer, and that stuff is messy, so I definitely want to wear latex gloves. Anyhow, it didn't really need it that bad because it was only a couple years ago that I did this, but I went over it again anyway, just for good measure. So I've got everything down all the way up through there along the panels, and you know, as well as over here. I'm just waiting on this right here because this is where I had to fiberglass, as you can see. So I think what I'm going to do there, once that's cured, is I'm going to put some short strand fiberglass down and kind of smooth it, and then sand it so that it's you know, it looks good, even though once it's painted you probably won't really notice it there. And I am planning on putting carpet in here because it'll cut down on road noise, which I know might be kind of weird for a Jeep, but when you've got the topper on and stuff like that and you're wanting to listen to tunes, it would be nice if you didn't have as much noise, plus the heat that emanates from the transmission. And so anyhow, all right, I got the fiberglass and resin, you know, the fiberglass cloth and resin on there. Basically 2 layers, let it cure for about an hour, and probably didn't need it that long, but, and then I sanded it with 80 grit just to kind of rough up the surface for the short strand fiberglass I'm going to use now, just to kind of smooth things a little bit. Okay, Murphy strikes again. So this is an unfortunate situation here. This part of the bed is not tied into the wheelhouse, and I'm recalling now why, and that is because it's rusted right there. It's solid beyond where you can see the gap. It's solid there, and it's solid back in here, but there's just enough give right there when you get up in the bed that that fiberglass is not going to work. So what I'm going to have to do is clean that up, treat it so it won't continue to rust, and I'm going to have to fabricate a piece that will attach in here and into the wheelhouse to support that, short of cutting the entire bed out, and I'm not going to do that. It's a way more complicated thing than I want to get into at this point, and I don't think I'll have any problem with that as long as I get things sealed up and painted up and all that kind of thing. It shouldn't continue to rust. So I'm going to clean this up, get some sheet metal, and I'm going to probably just rivet it in there just to give that some support. And the good thing is I'm planning on putting carpet in here, so you won't ever really see that anyhow. But it needs to be supported so that side of the floor is not one to give. So again, I'll rivet it across here and then up to here on the wheelhouse, and it'll be supported sufficiently, and then seal it up, paint it, and go. Okay, this is working out pretty cool. I had these left over from when I pulled them off the rockers. These are diamond plate aluminum. Cool thing about aluminum is it's not going to corrode, even though I'll clean that up back there, and I'll repaint it. But in any case, got to get this cleaned up, and it's even got rivet holes already done. So I think what I'm going to do is cut this and bend it right in the middle and run that along that whole edge over there. And I guess I don't really need to do this side, but I don't know, I may do it just for good measure. But obviously all my fiberglass and stuff like that had to come off of there. I still have to sand this off, so that was basically a waste of time, but at least I got into that and I know what I need to do. And this is going to be a good strong fix, and one that is permanent, and it precludes me having to take this whole bed out. The only bummer too about this is I had the whole interior clean, ready to paint, and now I'm going to have to wash it out again. But day or two setback, no big deal. Okay, and there it is. I've got it cut and bent. Actually was able to bend it on the vise over there, just a little bit at a time. But the cool thing is these already have the rivet holes pretty much where I need them, so that's going to work out well. I think that will definitely support that. So I just got to get those cleaned up and painted, and then I'll get this treated here and painted. You know, probably go ahead and paint it, even seam seal it before I put this down, and then once I put this down, I'll seam seal around it as well, so it'll be all right. Okay, and before I rivet this piece in, I decided to go ahead and re-fiberglass and cloth that double layer, so that's sealed off, and then when I put the rivet this piece in, it'll add rigidity to the floor because it's connected to the wheelhouse and the floor, and then I'll seam seal around it as well. Okay, I've got these painted up with some self-etching primer on the backside so they won't corrode, and then fiberglass that like I mentioned earlier, and I also seam sealed it all the way back. And so I'm gonna let that set up. So that should be good. That'll be a good repair there, so no water or anything like that will get in. And then, like I said, when these get riveted in, they'll provide the rigidity that's needed for the floor. Okay, and there's the repair. So worked out pretty well. What I did on this side before I riveted it down is I put a wedge in underneath the floor from this side over here so I could pick up on the floor. It was a little bit low right there where it had a little seam that was open. So picked up on it a little bit and riveted the side piece first, and then was able to, you know, rivet these in, and it pulled the floor up. And before I did that too, I also squeezed some seam sealer inside there, and so that some of it squeezed out. But I've also put seam sealer around the whole thing on both sides. Again, that side didn't even really need it, but I figured since I did that and I had it, I'd go ahead and do that as well. So now it's gonna be a real solid. That should work real well. Now I just gotta let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow I'll clean this interior out again, and then get it painted chassis black. Some Nason paint that my friend Ward gave me some time ago. And then obviously when I go to put it together, get the seats in and everything, before I do that, I'll put the carpet in that I intend to put in as well. So you won't even ever see that. So, all right. All right, there she is. Got 2 coats of chassis black on it, and just like I thought, the diamond plate actually looks good. Looks like it's supposed to be there. But anyway, 2 good coats on there. Shouldn't have any rust issues going forward. And I'll go ahead and put my plugs in where they go. There's several of them that go in there, but and then I'll be ready to put carpet in it when the time comes. So that's going to do it for this episode. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.